The morning was quiet, sunlight spilling across the kitchen table. Elena sat with her coffee, sorting through the pile of mail, bills, advertisements, and one small white envelope with no return address. She almost set it aside, until her eyes caught the handwriting. Her breath stopped. It was Daniel's. Her fingers trembled as she held it closer. The ink slanted just the same way, every letter formed with that familiar care. It couldn't be possible. Daniel had vanished 2 years ago, a week before their wedding. She tore the envelope open, heart pounding. Inside was a single sheet of paper, neatly folded. "I'm sorry for leaving without saying goodbye. You deserve to know the truth. Please meet me where we last spoke." The words blurred as her eyes filled with tears. That cafe, the one near the old train station, had been closed for over a year. Elena stared at the letter, unable to breathe. Her hands shook as she whispered his name. Daniel. Outside, the wind lifted the curtains softly, and for the first time in 2 years, she felt like the silence in her life had finally spoken back. By evening, Elena couldn't stay still. She grabbed her coat, the letter folded in her pocket, and drove to the old cafe near the train station, the last place she'd spoken to Daniel before he disappeared. The windows were boarded, paint peeling, the air thick with dust and time. She pressed her face to a gap between the wooden planks and blinked. There, inside on one of the tables, stood a vase of fresh flowers. Bright yellow tulips, Daniel's favorite. Her heart stuttered. Someone had been here recently. She pushed the door open. It creaked, long and tired. The air smelled faintly of rain and coffee. On the table, next to the vase, lay another envelope, this one smaller, her name written again in the same hand. Her fingers shook as she tore it open. Inside was a single photograph, Daniel, pale and thin, sitting in a hospital bed, looking straight at the camera. The back of the photo held a message written in blue ink. "I didn't die. But I wasn't the man you thought I was." The room spun slightly. Elena clutched the table to steady herself, her pulse pounding in her ears. Who was sending these? And what truth had Daniel been hiding from her all this time? The next morning, Elena couldn't take it anymore. She drove straight to Mark's house, Daniel's older brother. The two hadn't spoken since the wedding that never happened. When he opened the door, surprise flashed across his face. "Elena, it's been years." She held out the envelopes with shaking hands. "Mark, these came in the mail. From Daniel." He stared at them for a long time before sighing, his shoulders heavy. "So, you finally know." Elena's heart skipped. "Know what?" Mark rubbed a hand over his face. "He was alive, Elena, for a while. There was a car crash the night before the wedding. His car went off the highway. Everyone thought he died." Her knees went weak. "But he didn't." Mark shook his head. "No. He survived, but he hit his head. He couldn't remember anything for months. When he started to remember, he told me not to contact you." "Why?" she whispered. "He said he wasn't the same person anymore. That he didn't deserve the life he left behind, or you." Elena stared at the letters in her hand, her mind spinning. He had been alive, all this time. But if he'd chosen silence, why reach out now? Elena drove for hours, her hands gripping the steering wheel, the road stretching endlessly ahead. Mark had mentioned a clinic 2 towns away, a place Daniel had stayed during recovery. It was her only lead. When she finally reached it, the building looked quiet, surrounded by trees and the soft hum of cicadas. Inside, the receptionist looked up as she entered. Elena placed the photo on the counter. "Did this man ever stay here?" The woman studied it, then nodded slowly. "Yes. Daniel Reed. He was here for almost a year." Elena's breath caught. "Where is he now?" The receptionist frowned. "He left about a month ago. No forwarding address. He used to help out in our therapy wing, with other patients who'd lost their memories." She hesitated, then reached under the counter and handed Elena a small notebook. "He left this behind. We thought he might come back for it." Elena opened it, her eyes filling as she recognized his handwriting, the same careful lines she'd once loved seeing on notes and cards. "If she ever finds this, one-page read. Tell her I left because I remembered everything, and I couldn't face her with who I became." Her vision blurred. The ink had smudged slightly at the edges, as if written with shaking hands or tears. Elena sat in the small hospital garden, the notebook still open in her lap. A soft voice made her look up. A nurse, kind eyes, gentle face, stood beside her. "You're here for Daniel, aren't you?" Elena nodded wordlessly. "You knew him?" The nurse sat down beside her. "Everyone here did. He helped with our patients, especially those struggling with guilt." "Guilt?" Elena whispered. The nurse hesitated, then spoke quietly. "He blamed himself for the accident. Another driver swerved to avoid him that night. The man didn't survive." Elena's breath caught. "He never told me that." "He couldn't forgive himself," the nurse continued softly. "He said he wasn't the same man anymore. He thought disappearing was the only way to make things right." Elena stared at the pages of the notebook, the words written in his careful hand, each one heavy with sorrow. "He spent every day helping people recover," the nurse added. "He said maybe if he could heal others, he'd earn the right to stop running." Tears filled Elena's eyes. He hadn't left because he stopped loving her. He'd left because he couldn't love himself. She closed the notebook gently, holding it against her chest like a heartbeat, the only part of him still warm in her hands. Before Elena could stand to leave, the nurse reached into her pocket and pulled out a small, neatly wrapped package. "He asked me to keep this," she said softly. "He said if anyone ever came asking for him, especially you, I should give it to them." Elena took it carefully. The paper was worn, edges slightly creased as if it had been carried around for months. Inside was a tiny ring box and a folded note, yellowed from time. Her hands trembled as she opened it. The same handwriting, calm, familiar, impossibly gentle. "You waited for me once. Don't wait again. Goodbye doesn't mean I stopped loving you. It means I finally learned to let you live." A sob caught in her throat. She turned the ring box over and opened it. Inside was the simple silver band he'd chosen years ago, the one he never got to place on her hand. Elena pressed it tightly in her palm, tears slipping down her cheeks. He hadn't left to forget her. He'd left to free her, from a love tied to guilt and pain. It wasn't the goodbye she'd dreamed of, but it was the one she finally understood. Weeks passed before Elena could open the notebook again. She spent her days in quiet places, the park, the library, the small cafe that had reopened by the train station. Sometimes, she would glance at the empty chair across from her and imagine Daniel there, smiling the way he used to when words came easily. Then, one afternoon, she began to write. At first, just scattered thoughts, a memory of his laugh, the way he folded his sleeves, the moment she read his last letter. But slowly, those fragments became something more. She called it the unfinished goodbye. A story about two people who loved deeply but had to walk separate roads. In the final line, she wrote, "Goodbye isn't always the end. Sometimes it's a way to set someone free." When she finished, she placed Daniel's notebook beside her laptop, its pages still carrying the faint scent of hospital paper and rain. She smiled softly through her tears. He hadn't disappeared to escape her, he had left to protect her from the weight he couldn't carry anymore. The goodbye that once felt hollow now felt whole. It was never unfinished, just waiting to be understood. Some people say goodbye once and leave forever. Others say it in silence, so the one they love can keep living loudly. Thank you for listening. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Academia Bees for more emotional English stories.